to do a tall inside a grande size cup of the pike roast. Then I'm also going to do just a warmed coffee cake.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, got 561 for you.
Sure.
Like place for you.
Sweet, thanks.
Coffee cake coming.
Awesome, thanks.
Have a good one.
See ya.
This was a thing I was terrified about when we'd get to the book of Revelation in this series, and I'm going to try to use this to explain what is happening in our reading for today. It's day 349, just so you know. Chapter 6 opens up with the scroll. Well, actually, back in chapter 5, we're introduced to the scroll with 7 seals on it, and only Christ could open up the scrolls. So that's going to be very important. We're going to wrap back to that later. So these scrolls are starting to open. The Lamb, he opens the scrolls. The first one he opens, boom, is the white horse with the rider conquering. You probably can't read any of this here, but trust me, that's what it says. Second scroll opens, and you got the red horse with the rider, and he's taking peace away. The third scroll is open, and we see it's the black horse with the rider holding the scales. The fourth scroll is open. Wait, seal. Am I saying scroll? Oh man, I meant seals. I apologize about that. Seals. Okay, there's 7 of them. The fourth seal is open, and it's the pale horse with the rider's name, Death. All right, so these are like the 4 horsemen that we read in Revelation and that a bunch of movies try to, make movies about. When the fifth seal is open, we see that it is the slain souls, and they're residing under the altar, those who have been slain for their devotion to Jesus. The sixth, seal. I apologize, seal. Sixth seal is open, and we see a lot of these great natural disasters take place. Then there's a little break from the opening up seals as we then look into chapter 7 about those who are sealed by God, in particular the 144,000 witnesses, which is 12,000 people from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Chapter 7, we're introduced to this massive multitude of a variety of people, and they are all people who have been slain during this tribulation period, and they're just praising Christ and attributing salvation to Him. The 7th and final seal that is opened by the Lamb is this one, and essentially what it does is it opens up these like 7 trumpets, if you will. So I drew a trumpet here, but I also have one here that you can see. This is a shofar. It's pretty nifty, huh? So it's not too bad. It's like, looks like it. Here, I'll blow it just to kind of. So what happens is these 7 trumpets are then blown, and we're actually going to start with trumpet number 1 over here. And as that one is blown, what happens is that 1/3 of the earth is burned up via like this fiery hail that's falling to the earth. The second trumpet is blown, and the sea becomes, like 1/3 of the sea becomes blood, and as a result, 1/3 of the creatures in the sea, as well as the ships in the sea, 1/3 of them die, get destroyed. We got our third trumpet that is blown, and woodworm comes, and essentially what woodworm is, it's this like massive, meteor type thing that comes to earth, and it poisons 1/3 of like the fresh drinking water of the earth, and many people die from that. The fourth trumpet is blown, and 1/3 of the light is struck, like the light from the sun, and therefore reflection from the moon, and there's this darkness that is over the earth. Fifth is really interesting. It's this angel goes down, and he opens the bottomless pit, and these weird like locust, scorpion type creatures come out and terrorize people on the earth who do not believe in Jesus, and it says that they torture them for 5 months, and these creatures They don't have the ability to kill anyone, and no one actually during this 5-month period has the ability to die, even though they wish they were dead, because they were just in so much excruciating pain from the sting of these weird locust scorpion things. Okay, the 6th trumpet blows, and there are these 4 angels that are released from the Euphrates, and these angels, via this massive, huge army of horsemen, essentially kill a third of mankind. It's a very tragic trumpet there. And then the last trumpet is we see this proclamation of God's coming kingdom. That this is, all these are like really kind of sad and bummer-like, but this trumpet is blown, and it signifies that Christ is coming, that he is returning to earth, that he is establishing his rule and reign. And what happens here is that the temple is open in heaven, the temple in heaven is open, and the ark is visible to people, and there's all this lightning and thunder and just like all this crazy madness happening because of this incredible trumpet that is being blown, the 7th and final trumpet. Also in chapter 10, we see the narrative of John eating the little scroll, where it was sweet when he was eating it in his mouth, but in his belly it was bitter. And then we also see the 2 witnesses in chapter 11 and how they die, but then they get resurrected back up, and then they ascend into heaven, into the clouds. So there's a lot of like different things here, pieces here that are connecting. But this is the essential timeline of our passage for today. And what I wanted to revert back to for today's reading is really has nothing. It's back in chapter 5, and it's this idea that the Lamb was the only one worthy to open up these seals. And you look at the things that these seals bring, these 4 horsemen, great natural disasters. It eventually leads to all this horrible stuff that we read about in Revelation. And the fact that Jesus is the only one who is worthy to open up these seals and, have all this happen, it just shows 2 things. First off, his power, that even though a lot of these things that are going to happen in the future are really scary and terrifying, that Jesus has a greater power over them, that he is more powerful than even weird, scary locust creatures or, this army that kills a third of mankind. Like, he is more powerful than that. And the second thing is, once again, it shows that as we're going through Revelation and as we're reading this book, that all of these things show us the priority is found in, the preeminence is found in Jesus Christ himself, because he is the only one that can get this stuff going, and he has power over it. It is all about him, and that's why we read Revelation. That's why we study eschatology, is because we look forward to really what this 7th and final trumpet will bring, his coming to us, him establishing his rule and reign, because that is what we want in the end. We just want Jesus. It's all about Jesus, and I think we see that beautifully here in our reading. I'm pretty sure I've only ever bought 1 belt in my entire life. My wife thinks otherwise, but that's what I'm here to do. So this is technically, to me, the 2nd belt that I've ever bought for myself. I don't remember how long ago this was exactly, but maybe like a couple weeks to a month ago. But I had made a repair on this tripod because the little foot deal here kept like popping out. And no, that's not it. Still working.